My parents spent 18 years treating me like background noise in my brother's highlight reel, and they genuinely believed I was fine with it. On my 18th birthday, I packed everything I owned into 4 boxes and vanished. My brother was born when I was 2, and by 6, everyone had decided he was a hockey prodigy. And honestly, little me loved it. I wore his jersey. I rang the cowbell. I didn't mind the rinks at first, but things curdled as we got older. Every weekend of my childhood was scheduled around his ice times. My Saturday art class got dropped in 4th grade because it conflicted with development camp. When I brought home a perfect score, my mom would glance at it and ask if I'd seen his stat sheet from the tournament. He'd bring home C's and they'd frame the coach's praise email on the fridge. I kept grinding at school anyway because my dream was culinary school, a real one, and I knew nobody in that house was going to fund a dream they'd never once asked about. What stung most was hearing my parents tell relatives that my grades came from the discipline we instilled. They instilled nothing. They were at an away game. When I was 12, they planned a spring break trip to a resort with a rink attached, booked around his showcase, and told me about it after the deposits were in. I had a regional baking competition that same week, my first ever. They assumed I'd understand priorities. I competed alone. A teammate's mom took photos so someone would have them. Then there was the restaurant thing. My brother is a picky eater on a nutrition plan, and my parents converted his preferences into law. The whole family ate clean because we support him as a family. Any place he didn't like was suddenly not possible for us. Not disliked, not possible. Before my 16th birthday, they made a huge show of telling me I could pick anything, anywhere. I picked the little Lebanese place downtown I'd loved since a friend's mom took me. They refused because it didn't fit his macros, and his playoff push started that week. I asked why they'd offered anything if they meant anything that fits his schedule. They got flustered, then guilt-tripped me. You wouldn't want your brother off his plan during playoffs, right? For a week, they kept checking if I was ready to be reasonable. Then they announced they'd booked the steakhouse he loves, the one where I can order exactly one side dish, and posted on Facebook about treating their daughter to her favorite restaurant. So on the actual day, I got up at 7, went to my best friend's house, and turned my phone face down. 5 friends pitched in and took me to the Lebanese place. It's still one of the best nights of my life. When I got home, I was grounded a month for wasting the reservation. I asked if they'd used it anyway. They had. Taken him. Celebrated my birthday at my brother's favorite restaurant without me in attendance, and they truly did not hear how that sounded. That was the day I stopped arguing and started planning. I got a job at a bakery, 5 a.m. weekend shifts, and told them I'd joined a study group. For 2 years, I hauled flour, learned lamination, and banked every paycheck. They noticed only enough to lecture me about running around at all hours. Fine, lecture away. I kept my GPA spotless because I needed scholarship money, and I got it. A partial ride to a culinary program upstate, plus a letter from my bakery's owner that made me cry in the walk-in. By my 18th birthday, I had $4,100, a signed lease on a shared apartment near campus, and boxes hidden in my closet. Then my parents started making a big deal about my birthday. 18 is special. Ask for anything. And God help me, I gave them one last chance. I decided privately that if they came through, I'd tell them everything. The job, the scholarship, all of it, and leave the right way. I asked for one dinner at the Lebanese place. My mother sighed like I'd asked her to sell the house. My father said, "Why do you always have to make things difficult during his season?" I said some things that night I don't regret a single word of. I got grounded for them. The next evening, all 3 of them went to the steakhouse, and I loaded 4 boxes and a stand mixer into my friend's Corolla, left my key on the counter, and closed that door softly. They found out where I'd gone from my aunt, weeks later. The text started angry, then went quiet, then turned strange and polite around the holidays. I graduated from my program in June. The bakery owner came, my aunt came. There were 2 empty seats, and for the first time in my life, they were empty because I chose the guest list. I make people's birthday cakes for a living now. Every single customer picks the flavor.